As a website designer, and most importantly as a freelance website designer, your revenue sort of depends on how many projects you can bring in, but most importantly on how many projects you can actually handle. And that's why it's so important for you to be able to find or to create different revenue streams that will bring you some extra cash flow on a month-to-month basis. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about 5 ideas that I had that you can start to implement right away without actually doing anything brand new. These are all ideas of things that you are already working on, which if you think about it, you can make them into revenue. What's going on, guys? My name is Leopoldo Pirela and I'm a full-time freelance marketing designer. And in 2021 I was trying to think about a few ways that I can bring extra revenue into the business, as I was already sort of like capping with the amount of projects I'm able to take. And what I was thinking about is like, yes, I can bring in new people into the team, have them do some of the work, but at the end of the day that's sort of like extra time for me to be able to manage clients, manage the projects, and then also manage extra persons or extra people working with me to be able to accomplish something. So what I was thinking about is how I can bring that sort of extra revenue without really having to spend too much time learning a brand new skill, or putting extra hours on the week to have to be able to build something. And I thought about, well, there are a couple of things that I'm already doing, so why not make them into some or sort of like revenue stream? So let's dive right into the list. So the very first idea I have for you is to sort of use things that you are already using, sort of like those templates that you have probably created to build wireframes, to build logos, to showcase your logos, to showcase the new brands you have created, to showcase the new websites you have created, and sort of use them as something that you can sell. And this, if you already have created this, it's really easy for you to go ahead and put something together like a WooCommerce website and be able to sell them with ease. So it's pretty much like a downloadable product. So when someone buys it, they get a link and they can go ahead and download it. And the idea with this one is to not charge too much unless you have something that's really big, like a full, I don't know, like maybe 100 of pages wireframes that someone might be able to use. But if you're creating something that's small, let's say you create multiple small templates, website templates, multiple small branding templates, or anything like that, you're able to sell them really easy with something like WooCommerce, and then just sync up your PayPal or your Stripe account or any of these accounts for someone to be able to pay you, and then add that to your revenue at the end of the month. And this one is sort of like the easiest one because these are things, as I said before, that you already have, so it's easy for you to go ahead and put it out there. I will tell you a story about this, and I think it was in about 2019 I created a social media calendar that I was using to sort of guide myself on what to post on social media for my own Instagram page. And I sort of created this template, and once I created the template and I was using it for a while, so then I thought about, well, why don't I create one for the next year, and I would sort of white label it so that someone can download it and then be able to make it into their own. And I went ahead and I created a WooCommerce website, and the WooCommerce website, I think I put it there for about $50 or $60. And before you know it, I started to get emails and notifications of people actually buying it. And the reason why I realized this actually worked is because it was 2021 and people were still buying the same calendar, even though it was a bit outdated, but it pretty much fixed the entire problem of trying to figure out what to put in a calendar and how to use it. So think about like what are the problems that you currently are having, how have you fixed them, and if you created something that fixed the problem, then that's something that you can go ahead and sell, because I am sure many more people are going to have the same problems. Sharing what you do as a designer is probably the best way to generate new leads and fill in that pipelines for projects. And the same way I'm doing this right now is the same way that you can start to sort of also make some extra income. You see, there are a lot of new companies, especially if you're a website designer. There are a lot of no-code tools, for example, that are looking to put their products out there. However, most of those people who are already, who have a large audience on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, you name it, already have sort of like a sponsor of a product that they sort of prefer to put out there. So what you can do is while you are shooting these videos, while you are shooting tutorials, sharing with people how to do a specific task that you do, you sort of can also create these partnerships with these brands that can sponsor your YouTube videos or even sponsor some of the posts that you are putting out on social media. So that might be a great way to do it, since you don't really have to do anything extra. All you might have to do is sort of call out the product, or even just do tutorials on how to use these new products that you are interacting with. So with this idea, you sort of are killing two birds with one stone, even though I don't really like to say that much, but you're able to, you know, continue to show people that that you know how to use all these tools, that you're pretty good at what you do, and then use some of that time just to drive that extra revenue to your cash flow. And then if you think about it, all these ideas, I sort of want them to be relatable. I want one idea to sort of fit the other idea and so on. So on the first one, we are already creating templates. We are creating things that we are going to be selling on our WooCommerce store or any of the store e-commerce platform that you prefer. You can also do that on Webflow. And then we are also creating YouTube content through videos, maybe not just for YouTube, but maybe for LinkedIn or any other platform, where you are actually educating your clients, you are educating people on how to do the things that you do. So how about you use that content that you are creating and start to create online courses for people like yourself, for people like myself, who might be interested in learning what it is that you do. And what I really like about creating courses is that you can sort of create it once, and then it sort of runs itself. So you don't really have to go there and, like, you know, do too many edits or change things, change that. And once you have sort of created it, you can sort of let it run by itself. And maybe what you do is, like, you update content. So if you learn a way to do something new, then maybe add that to your course, just to give it that extra value, so that people who are in it can get, you know, more value from what you're doing, but other people who might have now learned about it are able to see that your course is actually quite valuable. And this is actually something that I have seen a lot of creatives do. And one of the things is probably the best example will be Segall, who used to do website designing and web development on Webflow as a service for his clients, and then he used to record his entire experience on YouTube and do tutorials on how to do things that he was working on. And eventually he created something that's called Flux Academy, where he actually took all these things that he learned on YouTube and implemented it into, I think the first course was the Webflow Masterclass. And then everything he learned about website design, he created a new course about website design. Then everything he learned about running his freelance business, he created a course about a 6-figure freelancer. And everything he has learned and the team have learned about branding, they are now creating one about branding. So that's exactly what I mean. You start with what you're doing every day, you go ahead and you record it, and then you make it into courses so you can actually grow an audience on, and you can actually share more and more what it is that you do and what you love to do. And then this one fits from the courses. So if you are already building an audience with your courses, with your content, whether you are doing the courses for free, maybe just putting them on YouTube, or you are actually using like a Skillshare or anything like that to be able to sell these courses, you are going to build an audience. And if this audience was already interested in buying your course, there might be the chance that they are also interested in a one-to-one mentorship sort of package. And this one is a bit challenging because it actually requires you to be there with the person on a one-to-one call. It might be like once a week or once a month. So you sort of have to be careful on how many people you can sort of bring into this, or, you know, like how many hours you actually do have available for this, since you're also working on client work. But this is sort of also another way to sort of go the extra mile when you're teaching someone or mentoring someone on how to do something. It can be mentoring on how to start with a website design business. It can be mentoring on how to use Figma, on how to use Adobe XD, mentoring on how to actually design websites that are appealing, that are actually goal-oriented and working for clients. So things like this is what people might be really interested in. So make sure you are charging enough for these hours that you are going to be spending on a one-on-one, or you can even do a bit more. So like, let's say you have like cohorts of people that you are mentoring like this. Let's say once a week you meet with 5 of them, with 10 of them, and you charge each individual person in the cohort for these mentoring sessions. And the next idea that I have for you, it's sort of like adding extra services that will benefit from the services that you are already providing to your clients. And what I mean by this is that a lot of the times we design websites and then we develop them on Webflow and we sort of leave it there. But what if you start to create sort of like recurring revenue? What if you add SEO to this? So now that you know SEO is not something that happens on a 1 month basis, SEO sometimes takes 6 to 12 months to actually see any changes. So what if once a client is finished with their web development, you go ahead and you take care of the on-page SEO that takes place on their website, so you can charge this on a month-to-month basis or on a 6-month basis, or if they just want to pay for the year. And the next thing I have learned is that my clients are never ever not in need of design work. Sometimes I just don't ask for it because they are not sure if you have the time to be able to jump into a project with them. And some things are not projects, they're just tasks that they probably need to be able to do something. So as a designer, whether you're doing websites, or you're doing branding, or anything that you do as a creative, you can sort of sell also hourly packages where you work with a client for X amount of hours per month to be able to help them with their design task. Now the key here is to make sure that on your proposal or in the package that you are creating, you need to make sure that you state it quite clear that this does not include like a brand new website or a brand new brand design, logo design. These are just ongoing tasks that will need to be completed to be able to accomplish business goals. So if you have been paying attention to all these ideas that I have been sharing, you will notice that all of them are sort of feeding from one another. The only one I think might be different will be the last one, where I talk about adding extra services to be able to build that recurring income on a month-to-month basis. And that one is really mainly on your client's needs, but also on the services that you are providing. So think about all the services that you are doing at the moment for your clients, and then think about like all the sub services that come out from one of your main services. As I said before, website design and development, you got SEO. Website design and development, you got maintenance and adding content to the website. You can continue to do things like this, landing pages, creations, and all that will allow you to create that recurring income. So guys, these are just my ideas. These are things I've been thinking about, things I thought about what I can do without having to do everything like brand new. Things I'm already working on, how can I sort of repurpose them to be able to create extra revenue for the studio. So let me know your ideas below. Let me know what crazy ideas you have thought about to be able to create extra revenue. And if you thought this content was useful, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the like button so YouTube tends to like my videos a little bit more. And I will see you again in the next video.